What's going on, everyone? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and following what was a really deflating performance of the weekend against Spurs in a 1-1 draw, we've now got a good opportunity to respond against Galatasaray in midweek. Now, this is going to be a very difficult game, and there is a lot of pressure on us considering how we started our Champions League campaign with a 2-0 defeat against Dortmund with what I would regard as our worst performance of the season. We just looked so lackluster in that game. No imagination, no creativity, very poor, and that's where we saw that 4-1-4-1 formation exploited to the maximum. Now, of course, Galatasaray, they haven't got the firepower of a team like Dortmund, but they do have, they're a very compact unit, and we've already faced Turkish opposition this season when we played Besiktas in our qualifying game, and they were the one thing you could say about them is that they were very hard to break down at times. They made it very difficult for us, both home and away, and it's kind of renowned that Turkish teams don't travel well, but I think Besiktas kind of proved that theory wrong. I thought they put up a very good fight at the Emirates, and our problem recently has been trying to break teams down because we've got a lack of imagination. We play it to the flanks, and we're not going through the middle of teams, and that's really where our problem's been at the moment, in my opinion. But Galatasaray is going to make that even more difficult for us. It doesn't help that we've already lost a load of key players going into this game, notably Arteta, so we haven't really got any proper defensive midfield cover, and I'm really worried to see how Matthew Flamini is going to perform in this one. I'd love to see Diaby start, but Wenger said that he's not physically ready at the moment following that game against Southampton. I would have expected him to at least have been included in the squad at the weekend, if not in this game. And why he's not ready, I don't know. I thought he had an excellent game against Southampton. I can understand we're not rushing him back, but it would have been a real bonus to have him in the game for this one. But Flamini, he proved that he's a liability at the weekend. He's really got to up himself and look himself in the mirror and really enhance his game in some aspects. But as well as that, we've also lost Jack Wilshere, who could possibly be out for a few weeks. Also lost Aaron Ramsey, which is just a huge blow. Even if he hasn't been performing well, he just brings something to the team morally. But not to mention all the other injuries. We've already got the likes of Walcott, Monreal, Gnabry, Giroud, Debuchy. Our injury list is so obscene at the moment, and this is going to be an incredibly difficult fixture, but we have to win it because we've got to get some points on the board. We've got to get our Champions League campaign off the mark and get it rolling. But it's going to be really hard. I think we're going to see a really mismatched and possibly quite unbalanced lineup going into this one. The lineup I'd like to see Wenger start with is Szczesny in goal, Chambers at right back, Mertesacker, Koscielny, Gibbs, Flamini, Rosicky, Sanchez, Ozil, Cazorla, and Danny Welbeck. Now, the things with that lineup is the worry there is that we're not really rotating players in a sense. I've put Cazorla in for Oxlade-Chamberlain because I think it's natural that we give him a rest. He's a young guy. Cazorla's an excellent player and deserves to start games. But the worry is that we're having to overplay Danny Welbeck, Gibbs and Chambers, and of course Koscielny and Mertesacker because we've got no other defensive cover in there. And that's a real worry in my opinion. And it's not good enough that we're not able to rotate these kind of players. And I think Galatasaray, like any team would, they're going to look at our weakness and they're going to see this in the middle of the park. And if we play a 4-1-4-1, I'm repeating myself again, Flamini will drop in too deep between the centre halves, and that space between the defenders and attackers is just going to be exploited, absolutely exploited. And I'd like to see us play a 4-2-3-1 with Rosicky and Flamini in a kind of pivot. Now that's an ageing pivot in some respects, with Rosicky getting on a bit and Flamini also in his 30s now, so that could also be exploited for pace. But Rosicky, given his age, he's actually quite a pacey guy, and I think this is a chance for him to prove himself considering he had a very poor performance against Southampton last week. There's also a shout for Podolski to start maybe ahead of Danny Welbeck, but then again, he really didn't convince me last week and he hasn't really merited a start in this. Joel Campbell's also someone that could be featuring in this game. That would be great to see him start a game again. Another one that didn't really flatter us at all last week against Southampton, but like I said, these players do need time. They need minutes on the pitch to really prove themselves, and I don't think they're going to be able to win over our hearts in just one game. It's going to be very difficult for them to do that. But I'm really hoping we can get a win in this one. We need to get the ball rolling, and we need a confidence and morale boost considering we've got Chelsea next Sunday, which is a horrible fixture. But we do need some kind of resilience and morale boost going into that game. Anyway, guys, those have been my thoughts on the upcoming game against Galatasaray. Praying we can get something out of this. Hopefully a win. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a like rating. Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV and check out my own channel, AFC Game by Game. And as always, thank you for watching, guys.
Get the Arsenal Fan TV app, available on Apple and Android now.